If you're hiring a team and you're doing this, you need to stop. Let's talk about it. Mastering virtual sales is the key to selling more life insurance. Hello, everyone. Thanks so much for tuning in. I'm your humble host, Earl Hall, here to help the life insurance agent really figure out the things that no one is talking about, but we definitely are. Look, hiring a team is one of the things that every life insurance agent, if you're not doing it, you aspire to do it, you want to get into doing it, you're just trying to figure out how to do it and all of that. I remember when I was running track back in high school, and there were two stars on the team. I wasn't a real runner, even though I did run the 440 relay, but I was a shot putter. But there were two stars on the team, and they were fast. They were fast. They did the hurdles, they did the sprints, all that kind of stuff. And the coach spent literally all of his time with these two people. And some of us on the team didn't really understand why. Later in life, obviously, we got to understand why that occurred and how that happened the way that it happened. But the reason why the coach spent all of that time with those two stars were because they were the ones that were doing the work. They were on the track field, hours before we were. They were on the track field hours after we were. We were just there. Well, I was just there to get the jacket, the letter, to be on the varsity team. And I think about that scenario, how so many of us were jealous of the coach. Not the coach, but those two-star players. They were brothers, actually. And always wondering, why coach didn't spend more time with us. And later in life, especially now, realizing that if we would have put in more effort, he would have put in more effort, right? There were some of us that were just there, like I said, to get the letter. But then there were those two brothers that were there to get college scholarships. They were there to go on to do better things in the arena of track. Even I have a nephew now that is a track star, and his dad was a track star in college, and they spend a lot of time on the field. And so I'm kind of correlating that with what it is that, you kind of go through with just hiring a team, right? Just hiring a team. What so many life insurance agents do wrong that are building a team is that they will accept any and everyone. It's kind of like The Thing, right? It's kind of like the thing that is just done. You kind of get a bunch of people in, and hopefully the cream will rise to the top. The reason why this is so ineffective is because let's just say you hire 50 people, but only 3 of them are really working, right? You're spending a lot of time trying to train people. In some instances, I'm just being general here, but you spend a lot of time trying to train people that aren't as motivated as you, that aren't nearly as motivated as what you would consider your A players or your top tier players on your team. But you can't even give the amount of time needed to the A players because you're still trying to, coach through the C and D players, right? You're still spending time trying to coach them through, answer their questions, a lot of times just dealing with complaints, complaining about this and that, leads and people not answering the phone, things like that. So you're dealing with certain issues like that all of the time. One of the things that I really look at if I want to build a team is look at first your own work ethic. Okay. First of all, if you're building a team, you're going to hopefully attract in people like yourself. So if you're not doing 20, 30, 40, 50K a month, you're not going to be able to attract in people that want to do that. Reason being is because if you're trying to recruit people, the first thing that they're going to ask is, well, how much money do you make? You can't say, well, I've got, this person and that person on my team and they're crushing it. They're making this much money. No. But how much are you making, right? How much is it that you're actually bringing in on your own pen? And if you are a producer, you're not going to accept anything other than potential A producers. And I say potential because some people start off, they've never sold insurance before, right? You have no idea. But there are some things that you can do to mitigate some of those downfalls and pitfalls that you're going to go through as a leader of a team. And you have to look at that because we are really talking about being a leader here. We're not talking about just someone that is giving orders, right? We're talking about being a leader of a team. So if you are producing at 50, 60, 80, 100K a month, people are going to follow your lead. So now how do you actually make sure that you're going to get or have a higher percentage rate, rather, of A players on your team than not? First, you want to lead by example. That's one. But then also, it comes down to your recruiting process. It comes down to how it is that you're going about filtering out people. Now, you can filter in on the front end or you can filter on the back end. Most people are filtering out on the back end where they're having to, maybe not spend as much time with people and just hope people leave their team. Let's just be honest. Sometimes you just hope people leave. You hope they quit because you're tired of dealing with them. So you can do that on the back end, but that's going to be a waste of your time, isn't it? Or you can do it on the front end through a strong interview process. Now, your recruiting process is one thing, but the people that you actually get on the phone with is another thing. There's some key things you want to know when you're trying to recruit a team. There's just some trying to recruit someone or get someone on your team. What have they done in the past? What kind of questions are you asking them? Are you asking them questions like, tell me about a challenge that you've had to overcome? And I know that may sound like a traditional, type of question that people ask on an interview, but you as the interviewee comes into play where you're actually paying attention to what's being said. Whether it's on paper or whether it's on a Zoom call. And in my opinion, especially if you're just starting out and starting to recruit a team, this is something you want to do yourself. You don't want to hire this out. Not until you perfect your process, not until you perfect your system. And you want to be able to know that the person that you're bringing on your team is willing to do the work. Now, one of the things that is so interesting is that we recruit people and hire people without telling them how freaking hard this is. We recruit people and we hire people without ever telling them how hard this is. Are you willing to spend, are you willing to make $250 on a Monday and a Thursday? Are you willing to stay on the phone until you book appointments? Because you did it. If you did it, right? Are they willing to do what you did to attain the level of success that you have? And if you're not upfront with people that you're hiring on your team, I really think it's deceptive. So many of the things that we go through in this industry is, especially in the recruiting, it's all about the money, right? It's all about how much you can make. That's low-hanging fruit type of people. People that are thirsty, people that are hungry for money. Nothing wrong with money. But if you offer the money without the challenge, if you offer the opportunity without the expectation of what it takes to attain this, it's something else. And I'm going to give you one key indicator that I have looked for. And this is it. When someone is on an interview with you and they ask you, what does the average person on your team make? Let me just tell you, it's a red flag. This is for me, and it's because of my personality, who it is that I am, and I want to hire people like me. So if someone is asking what the average person on your team makes, then that's the goal, to be average. But I tell you what, when someone has the audacity to ask me, what does the top earner on your team make? It's a whole nother story. When someone asks me, what does the top earner on your team make? That's a key indicator for me. I hope this was helpful. Please leave me your comments, your questions below, and we'll definitely be able to go ahead and answer those questions for you. This thing about hiring is important, but you've got to be the top producer. You've got to be a top producer. You want to have dug in and done the work yourself to know what it takes to succeed in this industry. I'll see you on the next broadcast.